여러분, 야리있나요? 땅! 여러분, 안녕! 오랜만이죠. It's been like a minute. It's been a while since we last, talked. It's been a while since I last posted an episode on here, and I am so sorry about that, but I did not realize how fast the year was just like dribbling, because it wasn't just running, the year was speeding. So I did not has been speeding, so I did not realize how fast that was. And before I knew it, we were already in March. And I do remember that the last time that I posted a video was all the way back in December. I am so sorry, guys, about that. So, yeah, I'm back, and welcome back, guys. This is Yeri-n-Here. Yeah. Before we start today's episode, I'm going to give you guys just some information on like a couple of just like basic K-pop news. Not exactly news, but just on some like comebacks and stuff like that. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. So, first of all, I think everyone already knows about the Seraphim's comeback. The Seraphim's comeback with Easy. Yeah, I haven't watched the Easy MV, but I have listened to Smart, and I really do love the song. Smart down, baby, smart down. I don't know the lyrics yet, but I really do like the song. I also did watch like the performance of that. Yeah, like the live performance of Smart, and I really do. I think that I haven't listened to anything yet, any other thing, but there's a possibility it might be my like favorite song on the album. Now that aside, iChilling also had their comeback MV like 2 days ago with On My Lips. Yeah, that was okay. I haven't watched it either, so I can't actually give my say on that. By the way, I haven't watched a lot of like comebacks lately because I have been 진짜 busy. 너무 바빠요. Anyways, Highlight had their comeback today with Body. 오늘이 담미 언니, Dami from Dreamcatcher. Yeah, I said 담미. 담미 언니는 생일이에요. So today is Dami from Dreamcatcher's birthday. We also have Wendy. Yeah, Wendy 언니 is gonna be having her comeback with her second mini album with Wish You Hell. Not well. It's actually Wish You Hell, but I already had this idea of like a part of the lyric being Wish You Hell, not well, or something like that. I don't know, but like the teaser did really push like the beauty in her voice. Yeah, so I already had that in my head. Then on the 13th, we have Hwang Min-hyun from Newest. Yeah, Hwang Min-hyun from Newest's Lullaby digital single. That's on the 13th of March. Then on the 14th, we do have Yua Onni. Yua from Oh My God. She's having her comeback with Borderline on the 14th. With like, the name of the album is Borderline. The name of the MV is Rooftop. So I'm looking forward to that. Then on the 15th, we have V. Yeah. Kim Taehyun from BTS. He's having his friend's MV on the 15th. I wonder how that's going to come out. On the 19th, we have Purple Kiss. Purple Kiss. Yeah, they're coming out with their 6th mini album on the 19th of March. So that's that about that. 그리고 여러분, 난 할 말이 있는데, 나는 졸업했다고. Yeah, so I graduated. I'm done for now with school. So yeah, I'm done with that. And I guess that's all on the tiny little things I had to say. Like the small, what should I call this? I can't call it an update, and I can't call it like K-pop update, because it's not exactly an update. It's just like a little bit of info on like not recent happenings, but a little bit of info on possible like comebacks, or on future comebacks, or already had comebacks, if you guys get what I mean. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Let's get it. Ew. Episode 9b. Who said
all concubine daughters are evil. The Sword and the Brocade, Part 2. Okay, so before we start this episode, at least the main context of this episode, I'll give you guys a quick play-by-play of what went down in the last episode, or basically what we covered in the last episode. So, our main character, Yin is forced, aka blackmailed, by her nominal mother to get married to her older sister's widower, who is basically her older sister's husband. And basically, she does it because she suspects that the man she's getting married to, at least the man's family or someone in his family, has something to do with the death of her birth mother, who was a concubine to her father. So she decides to, get married to the Yongping Duke, who is also known as the general, who is also known as Yeri. So she's like, fine, I'll get married to him. But secretly in her mind, she's like, I'm only getting married to him to uncover the secret of my mother's death. You know? So, fast forward to where I stopped. Shi Yin Yang is basically thrown into the gallows by her wicked mother-in-law. Okay, maybe not wicked, but her mother-in-law was honestly a case. So basically, she's thrown not into the gallows, but she's basically disposed of. Okay, maybe not disposed of by her mother in law, but due to some superstitious belief that her being born in the year of the ox would cause her husband's wife, so basically her sister in law's fetus, to basically either die or just not be born under safe conditions because of, the year she was born in, she is sent to the less prominent part of their property. So basically, she's sent to like a trashy part of their property where no one's actually ever been taken care of. Yeah, so no one's been taking care of the property, and her mother in law just sent her away, as well as everybody that was born in the year of the ox, obviously. Because the year of the ox is actually what was the problem and not Yin. At least that's what they want us to believe. So, Yin, being an amazing person, is so understanding and she gladly leaves the manor. Now, while she's away, her son, that's aka her sister's son, who is like, quite sickly in nature, gets an allergy. Like, he basically gets an allergic reaction and his allergies basically flare up. But the nanny is blamed for being so incompetent as to taking care of him. Thus, Lang Fang, if you guys remember Lang Fang, she's the green tea bag, ends up getting custody over the kid. P.S. She planned everything from the whole making the family believe that Yin Yang is basically a harbinger of doom. Yeah, so she planned everything. But the thing is that she apparently was not satisfied with the kid. So she plans the abduction of Yin Yang, obviously to ruin her reputation. But Yin Yang is like, nope, my reputation over my life, so tell nobody about what happened. And long story cut short, the plan basically went bust. So when Ye, that's the general, aka Yongping Duke, comes back from the little, outing he went on, he is beyond upset, to say the least, at his brother for believing in the superstitions, brought by the temple, which he classifies as unfoundous hocus pocus jabba. At least that's how I translate what he said. So basically, he does not believe, that's the Duke, does not believe in superstition. So he's like, how could you believe in such stupid superstitions and you sent my wife away? So basically, he's like, I'm not having anybody basically treat my wife terribly. So when Yin Yang is like returning home, the Duke finds her and is like, I'm going to bring you back. And then they have a couple of sweet scenes here and there, cute scenes, like the whole, how carriages mistakenly bump over potholes or people or animals, or accidents almost happen and then somebody in the car falls into the person's arms. Yeah, that was the sweet scene we got. Now, by the time they return home to where the son is still suffering from the allergic reaction, courtesy of the green tea bag, Xiao Lianfang. Remember I mentioned her name? Lianfang? Yeah, her full name is Xiao Lianfang. So basically, when they went back home to that, Young basically is like, I've got a remedy to help him. And little Miss Green Tea Bag, I might be calling her Green Tea Bag more than I call her name. So little Miss Green Tea Bag is like, your remedy can't work. And she's basically looking down on it. But luckily for both Yin Yang and Jonga is the kid's name, Jonga. The Duke trusts his nominal wife. Oh yeah, Yin Yang is now his nominal wife, by the way. Yin Yang, and he's like, let her use the remedy. And the remedy, if I might add, works like a magic potion. Yeah. Anyways, this gets her, basically, Yin Yang, custody of her kid back. And we think everything is fine. She basically has custody of her kid. You'd assume that Green Tea Bag would, be okay or start to act like a normal human being after being reprimanded so much. But apparently, we can only wish for that much. So basically, after all the reprimanding that the green tea bag got, you'd think she'd lay low at least a bit, before she starts any more master ingenious plans. But apparently that's not, she doesn't know, like, what it means to lay low. It does not exist in her dictionary. So she proceeds to having yet another ingenious plan. Like, I think she just loves temples because she proceeds to bribing the temple to, you know, dub Xin Ying as a Death Star. And our ever so superstitious Madame Shu, like that's her mother-in-law, instantly separates the mother and child yet again. Like, she just keeps doing these things. And they keep, like, proving to be false because Qin Yang was, throughout this entire drama, she legitimately never harbingered anybody's death. Literally. Never. Okay, so by this time we finally get to see Wu Niang, that's Xin Yang's better older sister, that I thought, like, throughout the series, I thought she was like the younger sister, but like I still don't know because the way she carried herself did make her seem like the older sister. But then I'm not going to look at it in their names because Eunyoung is the second sister, which is the second born, and then we have Dacia, that's the oldest sister, and Yin Yang, I believe, should be the youngest child. But she, then again, is very, very, very responsible for her age because of the circumstance of her life, not just her birth. But then again, Oonyang, who is the better sister of all her sisters, actually seems to care about her. She actually seems to, care about Yin Yang. So basically, we get to see Oonyang one more time, and we see that unlike her other sisters, she's actually happy in her married life. She's married to a man, relatively happy at least. She's happily married to a man that loves her, and she is also equally enamored with him. So basically, both husband and wife are very, very, very much enamored with each other. Now, the only unfortunate part of their, relationship slash marriage is the fact that they're like super poor. not super poor, but they do lack an amount of money. So if it's not lack of love, it's lack of money. It's one thing or another, like with people in these dramas. So basically, Eun Young, on the other hand, do you guys remember Eun Young, the evil sister, the one that wanted to trick Yin Young into marrying that assaulter from the Wen family? Yeah, or from the Wang family. Yeah, so basically Eun Young got a taste of her own medicine and ended up getting married to Wang Yo. And well, he has been constantly abusing her. And do you know what her mother-in-law says? Her mother-in-law proceeds to say, "Give birth to a son so that my kid will stop hitting you." Ow. Like literally, this scene made me physically facepalm, which I just did again. Anyways, so Eun Young's obviously married life was, to say the least, awful. Definitely very, 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 very far from perfect. She had a terrible relationship with her husband because he was always hitting her. And her mother-in-law was like very, very, just very quiet about the whole thing. And obviously she couldn't talk to her family about it because obviously her family isn't exactly the best family to begin with. So Eun Young constantly blamed In Young for the unfortunateness of her life. Which, if you think about it, actually wasn't. Everything was Eun Young's fault because Eun Young was the one that gave the mom the idea to bring Yin Young back from the village into the country, into, the capital, which she did not want to do. She's the same person that gave the mother the idea of getting one of them married to the Gonza that's a terrible human being. She's the same person that actually even made herself known to the Gonza while trying to pretend to be Yin Yang, which ended up biting her in the left foot, and she ended up being forcefully married to the Gonza that everybody hates. So at the end of everything, it's obvious to see that Eun Yang is the cause of she's the cause of her own problems, honestly speaking. But she does not want to see it that way and constantly proceeds to blaming In Young. And she's like, "How dare you, In Young? You're having a happy life. That life should be my life." Blah, blah, blah. But nobody knows what In Young is actually, going through in her own family, in her own marriage. And nobody honestly cares. Because, well, other than Wunyang, but Wunyang has her own issues. But it now becomes more of a, how do I explain this? Everyone has their, just, I guess you could say it's like real life. Everyone has their problems in their marriages. And unfortunately, Eun Young's one is the worst because her husband keeps trying to constantly kill her with his kicks and punches. And she just a very, very, very bitter person because of that. Like initially, she was very bitter, but like now that her sister is married to the man she wanted to have, and then also the fact that her sister is having a happy life on the outside at least, or her sister is basically just very mature and doesn't like put out her dirty laundry in public. It's like, what the heck? Why is she having the life that I wanted for myself? You know? Okay, so after we, the audience, keep on constantly hearing the fact that Eun Young feels like Yin Yang stole her life, constantly, like, I'm not kidding, we heard this so many times. Okay, then there's also this cute, like, scene, like, fan shoe scene between the general and Yin Yang. And it's so adorable because here's what happens. So after Jungkook was, saved by Yin Yang from his allergies. Um, the general basically gives Yin Yang a fan, like a very, very, very pretty fan. And Yin Yang just basically like packs up the fan and doesn't use it. And her excuse when the general asks is that, oh no, it's too precious to use. And the general was like, it's too precious not to use. So how are you going to repay me? And the thing is that she gave money to one of the servants that brought the fan, but that's not what he wanted. And it was so funny because she was making shoes for him. So she proceeds to, giving him these pretty pair of shoes that she handcrafted by herself. I think I might have mentioned earlier that she is an amazing seamstress. Like she sews and embroiders very well. Embroiderists? I think that's what they call them. It's so funny because I embroider and I don't know what they call embroiders. Oh, embroiders. Anyways, so she's like very good at embroidering and she is also very, really good at tailoring. So she made these shoes for him, and I kid you not when I tell you that the general was like, let me try them on right now. And he tried them on. And they were so pretty. And he was like, I like them. And then the next morning, he proceeds to let me wear them out right now. And he wore them out. And then like, it's raining. So the shoes accidentally, enter a puddle. And he's like, nope, let me take them off right now. Like, these shoes are apparently not for a rainy day. And then for the rest of the day, he basically is like, let's pack the shoes off because apparently the shoes are for packing. They're for carrying and not wearing. We had it all wrong. Shoes aren't for wearing. Like, apparently shoes are not for wearing. It's so funny because legitimately, like the night before, he was telling her that she should use the fan that he gave her because, like, what's the use of having it if she doesn't use it, even though she was like, well, it's too precious to be used. Honestly, it gave off the vibe of she actually didn't want to use the fan because she hadn't opened her heart to him yet. But oh well. Anyways, anyways, so he's basically by this point, I think it's quite obvious that he's already very, very, very enamored with her, but she's still quite closed off to him. I feel like it's not her like closed offness is not only because of the fact that you know she was basically like just forced into marrying him. I feel like it also has like a very large role to play with the fact that she's basically deceiving him in their relationship, because if you think about it, she only got married to him because she was forced to, number one, and number two because she's trying to find the people that killed her mom. And then again, she's also probably feeling like indebted. Not indebted, but she's probably feeling like guilty that if she actually ends up falling in love with this man, will she actually be able to take care of Jungle, that's her sister's son, as well as she promised that she'd be able to? Okay, so fast forward yet again to where Green Tea Chow basically embezzles money that was meant for the rice for the commoners by being like, okay, so here's what she did. She done did like bought cheaper moldy rice. Well, technically it wasn't her, it was Jang Momo, that's Jang Nani. It was like one of the, I think her childhood nanny that actually did the whole switching of the rice. But still. So basically she goes ahead to embezzling the money when they gave her the duty of basically sharing rice for the commoners. So she embezzles the money. Technically it was Jang Momo that did it, but still. So Yin Yang finds out through one of her husband's many concubines. I think it's Madame Wen that she found out through. So she basically found out, and she's literally compelled into using her dowry to get rice from other noble families, as they're apparently very, very, very hard to find now. And guess why? They fell into the old family's plot. The funny thing about the old families, whenever I remember that family, I always remember Oya Hyung, like Oya Hyung from My Mr. Mermaid, and I think Oya Hyung or Oya Hung, I can't even remember how to pronounce his name, but I have a very strong inkling that that dude was an antagonist too. So, like in this drama, the old family is an antagonist. In that drama, Oya Hung was an antagonist. I'm so sorry about the tangent, but like it just came to mind. So, anyways, like it's now like so she has to basically use her dowry to get rice for the commoners, and Shin Young is just like, I'm doing this for the family, like any punishment, because she's not really caring about the green tea bag. She's like, any punishment that the green tea bag is going, she doesn't call her a green tea bag, don't mistake my words, but she doesn't call her a green tea bag. So she's like, I'm going to leave her being punished to Madame Shu or the general. Like they're the ones that can punish her, so just leave that to her. So it's now like she's basically, doing the work that Xiao Yifeng was supposed, that's not her name, Green Tea Bag was supposed to be, you know, was supposed to be doing. And it's just like, so she's doing the job. And now, in the process, rice finishes because the rice that they were able to get could only last them for 2 days. Now, after the rice finishes, a riot slash protest ensues. And they, like the protesters, that's the commoners, proceed to trampling on Xinyang. She basically gets trampled, and before she can be completely squashed, the general like basically came to her rescue, and we get a good amount. Like after that whole scene, we get a very, very, very good amount of like the CP's love progress. A very good amount, like I think 3 episodes worth of love progress, which is amazing. I kid you not, it's good. 근데 that, like all of that progress still did not get Chi Young punished. Like she wasn't punished like she was punished, but I think she was just reprimanded then, because like that was a very big, like she could have literally like destroyed the entire family. She could have destroyed, like gotten the family like in you know beheaded. 9 generations could have been beheaded because it could have counted for deceiving the king or the emperor. So she could have got the entire family killed. But she still didn't get a big enough punishment for that. Shocker. Because, oh yeah, by the way, the reason she keeps not getting punished, that's the green tea bag, is because, like, Madame Shu, that's Yin Yang's mother-in-law, like, really, really likes her. I think she's her niece or something. So she's like, you marry my son. And I'm just like, bro, no. Like, no. Your son doesn't even like her. The only reason your son is even, like, with her as a concubine is because of his first wife's, what do you call it, clan. Anyways, so we skip past the law of progress, and there's a whole lot more like stuff that happened. Then there's like the awkward dinner between Shin Young and the general, and there's also like the part where there was another awkward dinner and the concubine was with them, and the concubine wasn't even jealous. And I really like that. That girl was just like, the possibility of me and this man even being together is dead. I was really impressed by that scene. And then there's also the part where Madame, that's Madame Shu, keeps trying to get Xiaolang Fan, that's the what's her face again, the green tea bag, keeps trying to get her promoted. I'm just like, really, really, woman. And there's also the part where Xu Yinyang basically brings, sorry, not Xu Yinyang, Xu Liangyi basically brings a secret kid into the manor. Yeah, he brings a kid, and everybody's like, "Oh my god, he has an illegitimate child. But it's actually, that's not it. And the whole child's existence was part of the whole family's plot again. And then there's also this adorable scene where Shuliangi hypothetically in parentheses, abducts Yin Young into a warm, fuzzy hug, like in the early hours of the morning. And there's also like, Yin Young improving in dressing her husband. Yeah, so she, like, that morning after that, like, that forceful hug, it wasn't exactly forceful because she just laid there, like, but. So basically, after that hug, it was more like she had to dress him, and he pointed out the fact that, oh, you're improving in dressing your husband, and I'm just like, you have hands. It was so adorable because it was obvious that she was, trying to fight the potentiality of her, feeling comfortable with him. But I think by this time she was already very, very much enamored with him. Yeah. And there's also the whole, what do you call it? They had to like find a concubine slash woman to take care of the secret child, who actually is like his younger brother's child. So yeah, there's that too. Then after that, there's also the part where there was like a huge drama scene where they finally got Julian Fan, like they finally got her true nature, basically. It was, I can't really remember that part, but what happened was um she was framed for Julia Fan was not framed, not exactly framed, but she was basically framed for cheating on her husband with the other dude that's her friend, that dude that she thought saved her. She was framed for cheating on him. And she was like, no. But then the dude that's her friend was like, okay. Oh yeah, that her friend is apparently the youngest son of the old family. So he was now like, we found out the truth about your mother's murderer, and your mother's murderer is your husband. And she's like, what? Don't tell me I have fallen in love with the murderer of my mother. So basically, that's why she started avoiding him. But the general misunderstood it and was like, oh, she never really liked me. She's in love with this other dude. And that like opens another floodgate of misunderstandings. And to say the least, it was just crazy because then he tries to kill the dude. The general tries to kill the dude, and she comes in front of the general and is like, if you, no, sorry, she now like holds a pair of scissors to her neck and is like, general, if you move, I will kill myself. And then the general is like, no. But then she, like, because of his speed, she accidentally stabs the general in the heart with her pair of scissors, and then he's like profusely bleeding, and it's just like, what? And she's now basically absolutely pained that, oh no, she's in pain type of thing. And then he writes her a divorce letter, like, to protect her from his mom. And then he's sent like out on a mission by the emperor. And then he's not supposed to go out on that mission because obviously he is in not the best of health conditions. But because he's trying to save her, to, protect her from, what do you call it? A crime being written on her head. So he goes on the mission, and then before he could come back, there's news that he's dead. And basically her mother-in-law finds out that she was the one that stabbed her husband, and she's just like, what the heck? You actually tried to kill my son. You tried to kill your own husband. And they're like, you must be buried with him when his body comes. And by this time, Shin Young is just like, he can't be dead because she has accepted the fact that she's in love with him. So everybody's telling her, like, the servants, that's her servant and her husband's servant, that's the bodyguard, are telling her that she should just use the divorce letter that the husband gave her. So it's like, and she's like, no, I'm not going to use the divorce letter. I will not divorce him until he comes back, either dead or alive. And I'm just like, whoa, lady, you still think that he killed your mom? Like, calm down, you know? But she was honestly, at this point, she was madly in love with him. And I don't blame her entirely because, on the long run, it wasn't him that killed her mom. So I guess it was okay. But, anyways, long story cut short, the person that killed her mom was not in his family. I'm not going to tell you guys who that was because that's for you guys to go watch and check out. But the person that killed her mom was not from her husband's family and it was not from her ma- maternal family, so that's okay. She found out the person that killed her older sister, or basically, like, was part of the factor of her older sister's death, was the green tea bag. Yeah, it was a green tea bag, Chow Liang Fang. So she's the one that basically kind of caused her sister to fall sick and then ended up on the long run causing her sister's death. And then Chow Liang Fang at a point was like, oh well, so what if you know the truth? I'm going to kill you too. That was when like her entire facade came out and her true colors as a green tea bag came out too. So I don't. She wasn't arrested per se. I think they just locked her up somewhere because she was, or they sent her back to her family's house. Yeah. Then after that, there was also like that her friend. I don't want to say he was a waste of a character. He wasn't, but like I didn't really like in the beginning. I really did because I do love the actor actually. So I really did want like them to have something budding, but apparently that was not the plan of the writers because by the time that what you call it, we were way into the drama, it was like there's no way that there was going to be anything between them. And like even when he was like going through heartbreak when he found out that she was married and he was sad, I didn't really feel anything for him. So it was more along the line of, oh, it's an unrequited love. There's nothing we can do about it. That's Lin Xishan. I completely forgot his name. But yeah, the and when she found out that he was Oyanxing, that's the old family's, what do you call it? Old family's youngest son. Like she does hate the old family, but she doesn't hate him. And she was like, I believe that he has nothing to do with my mom's death, blah blah blah. So they did remain as what do you call it, platonic friends. But then because of her, her husband's jealousy, they couldn't be as friendly as they were before and stuff like that. So I didn't really feel no, I didn't really feel like so bad for him when he did not get his, love interest to love him. But at the end of the day, I think Shin Young's maid fell for him. Yes, yes. Shin Young's maid actually fell for him, and I think they like went off into the sunset together. But he did not fall in love with Shin Young's maid. He was just like with her for it wasn't pity per se, but just with her. Yeah. Oh yeah. There's also the scene where Shin Young's nominal mom died. I was actually pained when she died because she could have suffered more. Like she had a very peaceful death considering all the things she did. And I wouldn't blame her entirely because she did what she did had to do to protect her family. And to her family was herself and her daughter. And I think her son too. I think she had a son. So her family was herself and her daughter and her son. She did not care about the other concubines' daughters because they were concubines' daughters. So she didn't really care about them. And the thing was that she knew that Shin Young was not a bad person. She knew that Shin Young did not have a single care in the world about her position. She knew that. But because of, should I say, the fact that she was afraid that Shin Young's mom would take her place or something, I don't know. But I'd say the fact that she was scared that uh, um a a good daughter or like if another concubine gave birth to a particularly more useful child, she and her daughter might, be thrown away. That's what I think anyways. But that's a wrap for this episode, and that's a wrap for this story. So, yeah. Okay, guys, that's a wrap for today's episode, and thank you so much for taking some time to delve around this plotline with me. And don't forget to always be your perfectly unique selves. Bye, guys! Mwah!